Hello, I'm Craig Brelsford, and welcome to another episode of Small Stocks, Big Money. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Now, today's show features interviews with the executives of two public companies. First up is BioVie Incorporated. BioVie is a clinical stage company developing innovative drug therapies to treat chronic, debilitating conditions, including liver disease and neurological and neurodegenerative disorders and certain cancers. The company is conducting a potentially pivotal Phase 3 randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, parallel group, multi-center study to evaluate NE3107 in patients who have mild to moderate Alzheimer's disease. BIVI 201 has the potential to improve the health of thousands of patients suffering from life-threatening complications of liver cirrhosis due to hepatitis, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, and alcoholism. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Liberty Star Minerals. Liberty Star Minerals is a U.S.-based mineral exploration company focused on advancing high-potential copper and gold projects in Arizona's premier mining districts. The company's flagship assets include the Red Rock Canyon Gold Project, a rapidly emerging high-grade epithermal gold discovery, and the Hay Mountain Project, a large-scale copper-gold porphyry target with confirmed mineralization. With recent bonanza-grade gold assays at Red Rock Canyon and first-ever drilling validating Hay Mountain's porphyry potential, Liberty Star is strategically positioned for significant value creation. The company is actively seeking a joint venture partnership to accelerate development while leveraging strong exploration results and a favorable commodities market. We'll learn more when we speak with the chairman and director later in the show. Before we dive into our first interview, let's take a look at some of RedChip's top performers in 2024. Among them, RedCat, up an incredible 1,293% in 2024. Alliance Entertainment, soaring by 842%. Gorilla Technology, which gained 250%. And Nova Minerals, up 149%. These companies have demonstrated the immense potential of the small-cap market. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small-cap stock analysis.
For 32 years, RedChip has been discovering tomorrow's blue chips today with early research on Starbucks, Celsius, Daktronics, Winnebago, and more. Now we bring you RedChat, an innovative AI solution which gives you answers in seconds on over 2,000 small-cap stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Visit redchip.com today and use RedChat, your AI small-cap assistant. RedChat.
Now, let's move on to our quote of the week. It comes from the book, Small Stocks, Big Money. Work hard, be a long-term thinker, develop tenacity, and remember, nothing happens without taking calculated risks. This quote comes from Phil Sassour of Phoenix Group, and it is featured in Chapter 9 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $18. Now, let's get started with our first interview today with BioVie. Hello, today we have Cuong Do, President and CEO of BioVie, trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol BIVI. Cuong, thanks for being with us once again.
Craig, thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure.
Cuong, can you give us an update on what drug candidates BioVie has and what have you been working on?
Well, we have two drugs in our portfolio. BIV 201 is being developed for a liver condition known as ascites, and our second drug is bezisterim, which is being developed for Parkinson's, long COVID, and Alzheimer's.
Now, I understand you are starting a new trial in Parkinson's. Can you share what you have learned in the earlier trial and what you are hoping to show in this new trial?
In our earlier trial, we treated moderate to severe Parkinson's patients with bezisterim and levodopa and found that these patients had greater muscle control than those treated with just levodopa alone. And moreover, these patients had control of their muscles first thing in the morning when they wake up, which is a huge deal for Parkinson's patients. So it gives us human proof of concept that we can use bezisterim in combination with levodopa to treat moderate and severe Parkinson's patients. Now, the trial that we are starting now takes it one step further. We are working with Parkinson's patients who needs to go onto therapy for the first time, so an earlier stage of Parkinson's disease, and we're giving them bezisterim alone, and we're hoping to show that bezisterim can become monotherapy, first-line therapy for Parkinson's. And as these trials are fully developed over the coming years, we hope to show that bezisterim could become the first new therapy for Parkinson's in over 5 decades.
Sounds exciting, Kong. When do you expect to have data?
If all goes well, we hope to have data on Parkinson's by the end of this year or early part of 2026.
You have received a grant to explore bezisterim in long COVID. Could you tell us how you got that?
Well, as you know, there are 20 million Americans who are suffering from long COVID today, and the disease symptoms are so debilitating that 4 million Americans have had to change their jobs or can no longer work just because of the brain fog, malaise, and fatigue that goes along with that. And nothing works for long COVID patients right now. And over the last couple of years, researchers have tied long COVID symptoms to inflammation that works through exactly the same mechanisms that bezisterim works on. And that's why we are the only company that have received a grant to test a therapeutic for long COVID. And we're starting that trial right now. We're hoping to essentially enroll about 200 patients and helping to show that bezisterim can help them alleviate the brain fog, fatigue, and malaise that goes along with the disease condition.
And when do you expect to have results on that trial?
We are guiding towards first or second quarter of next year, but we're working with some of the leading long COVID sites out there, the academic sites out there, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and so forth, and they're very gung-ho and believe that they can enroll faster. So if they're right, we can have data even faster than what we're guiding towards.
If I'm not mistaken, Kong, you're also exploring bezisterim for Alzheimer's. Tell us about that.
Yes, in an earlier trial, we found that patients treated with bezisterim for just 6 months experienced a 68% slowing of cognitive decline, right? And the number one reported side effect was a mild headache reported by fewer than 10% of patients. Now, that's a huge set of numbers because, as you may know, there are 2 drugs that have been approved for Alzheimer's, and both of those drugs, on average, slows cognitive decline by about 30% after 18 months of treatment, and there are significant concerns around brain swelling and brain bleeding. So we believe we may have a best-in-class molecule, and we're waiting for when we can raise sufficient funding to start that next phase 3 trial and confirm what we've learned.
Final question, Kong. What catalysts can investors expect to see in the next year?
We believe we have an exciting year ahead. We have multiple trials underway, and if all goes according to plan, we should have data from Parkinson's by later part of this year, or early 26, and from long COVID trial by early to mid next year, perhaps even earlier. So multiple data readouts over the course of the next year. And that's part of the reason why I believe we represent a terrific buying opportunities for investors who have a long-term planning horizon, a 2-year planning horizon. I say that not because I'm the CEO of the company. I'm also one of the largest shareholders in the company as well, right? And we have multiple data readouts coming out next year, over next year.
Very exciting, Kong. Thanks for coming back.
All right, thanks for having me back. Bye-bye.
Now, to get more information on BioVie, visit biviinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like BioVie. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, Visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can also order your copy of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book written by RedChip's CEO featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Order your copy on Amazon today for just $18. Before we move forward, let's take a look at RedChat, a revolutionary AI chatbot for small-cap stock analysis.
For 32 years, RedChip has been discovering tomorrow's blue chips today with early research on Starbucks, Celsius, Daktronics, Winnebago, and more. Now we bring you RedChat, an innovative AI solution which gives you answers in seconds on over 2,000 small-cap stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Visit redchip.com today and use RedChat, your AI small-cap assistant. RedChat.
Now, let's move on to our next interview today with Liberty Star Minerals.
Hello, today we have Pete O'Hearn, Chairman of Liberty Star Minerals, and Gerardo King, Director of Liberty Star Minerals. Liberty trades on the OTCQB under the ticker LBSR. Pete and Gerardo, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. Love to tell the story.
Thank you for having us.
Turning first to Pete. Pete, for viewers just learning about Liberty Star Minerals, let's start with an overview of your current development projects.
Sure. Liberty Star Minerals is a U.S.-based exploration company focused on unlocking value in high-potential mineral targets in Arizona. We have two main properties. We have Red Rock Canyon, which is an exciting near-surface gold play, and Hay Mountain, which is a large-scale porphyry copper gold target, polymetallic, that we believe could become a world-class system. Our projects are located in a mining-friendly jurisdiction, and they align perfectly with the national priorities for critical minerals. And we like to say we have a 365-day mining season. So our northern brethren that might be locked out in the winter, we keep going.
Now let's talk more about Red Rock Canyon. You've reported bonanza-grade gold samples with some exceeding 100 grams per ton. What does this tell us about the scale and potential of the deposit?
Well, we've seen these type of concentrations in historic drill holes. We've seen them on surface samples. We did channel sampling here recently, and those grades really speak for themselves. I mean, over 100 grams per ton is rare, and when you see that kind of high-grade material at surface, it tells you two things. First, it tells you the system has strong mineralizing potential, and second, there's a possibility of early low-cost production at Red Rock Canyon. That it gives us a compelling short-term gold story with a real upside. It's not just about ounces in the ground, it's about grade, scale, and the potential to deliver value quickly to our shareholders.
Let's take a look now at Hay Mountain, Pete. Your drill results in 2024 confirmed a porphyry copper gold system. What were the key takeaways from those initial holes?
Well, 2024 for us was kind of a game changer. We've done sampling out there. We've done geophysical sampling, geochemistry sampling. Both of those maps match up almost identical. So we know that there's an enormously large mineral footprint out there. We confirmed the existence of porphyry system and multiple mineralized zones, and there's large intercepts of copper, gold. We have silver out there, moly. We even have cobalt, and we have rare earths. It's exciting that we've only just started to tap into the system. The scale is there. This is an enormous mineral footprint, one of the largest in the Western Hemisphere, if not the largest. Structure's robust, and we're looking at a system that could support a multi-decade operation, or as we like to say, multi-generational.
Thanks, Pete. Now, I'd like to turn to Gerardo, ask him a few questions. Gerardo, your team is actively seeking a joint venture partner. What does the ideal partner look like, and how would a JV accelerate development at your projects?
That's a great question, and thanks for that. We are looking for a partner in two different layers. For our gold property, we are looking for an operating partner that can help us accelerate this asset into production within the next 24 months. We've seen this type of operation, see the cash flow production light within that time frame. So we think that's possible. And we need to stick to what we know, which is being strategic and prospecting great assets into production and leave the operating to somebody that has a track record and can build that working capital into the function. The JV regarding the porphyry and Hay Mountain is a prospective partner that needs to scale this into a large top 5 production level asset. And what that means, we need to cubicate the main copper ore body and then dimension what kind of mine we can build out of that.
Gerardo, your team has a dual focus strategy, gold in the short term, copper gold in the long term. How does this approach benefit shareholders, and especially in these volatile markets?
Yes, so we are trying to disconnect ourselves from the traditional prospective junior market and offer the viability and the visibility of cash flow production within a horizon of time where usually it takes decades to get an asset into production. We can have something within 2 years. And that will not only allow us to keep cash inflowing our copper asset, but it would also allow us to keep prospecting and build a platform out of Liberty Minerals, not only in continental USA, but across the Americas with these strategic assets.
Turning back to Pete now for this question. Pete, your technical team, deep track record. How does that experience translate into smarter exploration and better outcomes for shareholders?
Well, I'll tell you, we do. We have a very experienced team. Our chief geologist, Steve Rivera, is from that area. He is well published in that area. He knows that mineralized zone probably better than anyone. Our original founder, Jim Briscoe, had been studying this area for over 30 years and was kind of the tip of the spear on some of the techniques that we use, CTEM and some of the geophysical techniques that we use to identify the boundaries. Then Jay Crawford, who's our Vice President of Field Operations, has been on that ground in place for well over a decade, developing those mineral leases for us. Gerardo, who you meet on this call here, has decades of experience in putting together joint ventures in the mining industry. And then we have on our board 2 other members who are steeped in experience in the capital markets. So I think we've got a team that can take this to the next level. The ones that have the technical experience about what we have on site, and also the people that can grow the company.
All right, now, and turning to Gerardo for the final question. What is the essential value proposition? Gerardo, why should investors take an interest in Liberty Star right now?
Yes, on top of having the priority to generate cash flow as a prospective company, which is something uncommon in the market, we are linked to 2 strategic commodities in the very long run, right? So today, with gold nearing 3,400 an ounce, it makes a lot of sense being invested in this mineral. Every gold producer worldwide is probably very into the money right now. So that's our cash flow rich proposition, while we fund our strategic copper ore body, which nearing $5 a pound. We're still near unprecedented levels, and not only that, but facing an era in which the U.S. needs to find sustainable U.S. strategic assets, and that builds and that poises Liberty Star Minerals into one of the unique platforms to expand this legacy into the future and continental U.S.
Gentlemen, it is a truly fascinating story. Thank you both for sharing it with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, sir.
Now, to get more information on Liberty Star Minerals, visit lbsrinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Liberty Star Minerals. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week. in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can order Small Stocks, Big Money. This is a book written by RedChip CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon for $18. Now, let's recap the companies featured today. First, you met BioVie Incorporated, BIVI on the NASDAQ. BioVie is a clinical stage company developing innovative drug therapies to treat chronic debilitating conditions, including liver disease and neurological and neurodegenerative disorders and certain cancers. The company is conducting a potentially pivotal Phase 3 randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, parallel group, multi-center study to evaluate NE3107 in patients who have mild to moderate Alzheimer's disease. BIV201 has the potential to improve the health of thousands of patients suffering from life-threatening complications of liver cirrhosis due to hepatitis, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, and alcoholism. Learn more at www.biviinfo.com. Then you met Liberty Star Minerals, LBSR, on the OTCQB. Liberty Star Minerals is a U.S.-based mineral exploration company focused on advancing high-potential copper and gold projects in Arizona's premier mining districts. The company's flagship assets include the Red Rock Canyon Gold Project, a rapidly emerging high-grade epithermal gold discovery, and the Hay Mountain Project, a large-scale copper-gold porphyry target with confirmed mineralization. With recent bonanza-grade gold assays at Red Rock Canyon and first-ever drilling validating Hay Mountain's porphyry potential, Liberty Star is strategically positioned for significant value creation. The company is actively seeking a joint venture partnership to accelerate development while leveraging strong exploration results and a favorable commodities market. Learn more at www.lbsrinfo.com. Don't forget to check out our stocks page. It is the biggest small-cap stock portal in the industry. It has every company listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange with a market capitalization of $2 billion and less, and it's categorized by industries. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel, and be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter to learn about a lot of small-cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, if you have any questions about any of our public companies featured on today's show, call us at 1-800-REDCHIP or email us at info@redchip.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile of asset classes. Some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, and we may own stock in these companies, so please always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thank you for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new, exciting, emerging growth companies.
For 32 years, RedChip has been discovering tomorrow's blue chips today with early research on Starbucks, Celsius, Daktronics, Winnebago, and more. Now we bring you RedChat, an innovative AI solution which gives you answers in seconds on over 2,000 small-cap stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Visit redchip.com today and use RedChat, your AI small-cap assistant. RedChat.
Parkinson's disease is a brain disorder that causes unintended or uncontrollable movements when the neurons die. Experts estimate 1 million people in the U.S. have Parkinson's disease. Now a company called BioVie, stock symbol BIVI, is developing what may be the first new treatment for Parkinson's in 50 years, led by the former chief strategy officer for Merck. Following promising phase 2 results, the company has advanced to a phase 2B trial and recently enrolled its first patient. BioVie, symbol BIVI on the NASDAQ.
RedChip. We build investor audiences for small cap companies, retail and institutional. 33 years, thousands of clients. We are experts in messaging. National TV ad campaigns, investor webinars, digital media, reaching hundreds of thousands of investors. RedChip. We do it well, we do it right, we do it big. RedChip. Call us or email us today.
The global blood glucose monitoring device market size is 14.5 billion and growing. More than 500 million people are living with diabetes. Enter Trinity Biotech, symbol TRIB, on the NASDAQ, a global diagnostics company, preparing to commercialize an industry-changing continuous glucose monitoring device based on its European-approved technology in discussions with a global pharma giant for large-scale global markets. Trinity Bio, stock symbol TRIB.
The global breast cancer drug market size was valued at nearly $33 billion in 2023, growing at 9% annually. Now meet Atossa Therapeutics, a NASDAQ company, symbol ATOS, rapidly pursuing an FDA-approved pathway for metastatic breast cancer with an innovative treatment that could forever change the way we treat a disease that affects 1 in 8 women. $71 million in cash and no debt. Atossa Therapeutics, NASDAQ ATOS.